for literal equations, this is going to be really easy if you know how to solve for linear equations. So for example, we have 2x minus 5 versus mine. Here it is. Okay. Now, let's say we have 2x minus 5 equals 13. Now, if you know how to solve for the variable x, then literal equations should be super easy for you. So here we go. Now, solve for x. First, we need to get rid of that 5. You know, your your Algebra Swag. So you're doing 2x equals 13 because we're moving that minus 5 over, becomes plus 5. Okay? Here we go. Now, 2x equals 13 plus 5 is 18. And then divide both sides by the number beside x, which is the numerical coefficient 2. 2x equals 9. Of course, you know, I expect you to box your final answer. Okay, here we go. Number 2. Now this time I'm gonna change the number 2 here by, let's say, a. I'm gonna keep the x if we're solving for x here. Okay. I'm gonna change that 5 by, let's say, y. And now I will change this 13 by z. Okay. Now you have ax minus y equals z. Here, if you're solving for x, first thing is we need to get rid of minus y. We need to move it over because we want to have x alone. Okay? We're going to write down ax, and then we're going to write down the z and that minus y because we want to have x alone. We need to get rid of that first by moving it over from minus to plus. Can you combine z and y? No, because they're unlike terms. You cannot combine unlike terms. And now you have ax. Once again, we're after with the x. We don't need the z. My bad. We don't need the a. So we need to get rid of a by dividing both sides by a. Now the reason why we're dividing it is because the operation between a and x is multiplication, and the inverse operation of multiplication is division. That's why we're dividing both sides by a. It's like what I did here by dividing both sides by 2. So here we go. Cancel out. X is equal to, we cannot put together z and y, so we're keeping it z and y over a. And now I have x alone. Once again, the main objective here is to make sure that the variable that you're solving is alone, is being isolated. Okay, now for number 3. How about if we have, let's say we are solving for, okay, let's say we have x, y minus z equals ab. Let's say we are solving for y this time, so I'm changing that to red y. There you go. Now, once again, if you're solving for y this time, we're solving for y, we need to get rid of that minus z by moving it over. So I'm going to write down xy equals, I'm keeping the ab, but that minus z must be transferred over from minus to plus z. Again, we're after with the y. So that means we don't care about the z. That means we need to get rid of it by dividing both sides by, I'm sorry, x, there we go, by x. So y is equal to ab plus z over x. And this is your final answer. Now, let's talk about an equation having, let's say we have B over C equals DE. Now this time, let's say we are solving for B. Now, before we all agreed that we all hate fractions. So if you hate fractions, again, we have to multiply both sides by, we have to get rid of that denominator C because you hate it. So for you to get rid of that C, that means you have to multiply both sides by C. And now we have to cancel the denominator C and the variable that you multiplied, because your objective once again is to get rid of that denominator. So you're multiplying both sides by the denominator C. So here we canceled out the C's, and now you have B alone. I think we're doing a good job here. So we have D, E, C. But wait, to write your final answer, make sure your alphabets or your variables are in the orders in the alphabet. So which comes first in the alphabets? Is it D, E, or C first? I believe it's C first, and then followed by the E, D, and you have the last variable, which is E, and that's your final answer. Okay, number 5. Number 5. How about if you have 2m over n minus x equals y. But wait, let's say we're solving for m. Okay? There are several ways to solve this, but the way we've been solving equations with fractions, we were doing it this way, where first is we have to get rid of the denominator first, which is n. Now, in our classroom, we have been multiplying every term by the denominator because we hate fractions. Here we go. And now we have 2m alone. N times x is, because we have minus, is going to be minus nx. N times y is going to be ny. Keep in mind, we're solving for m, so we have to keep it on the left side. And then that minus nx, move it over, becomes plus nx. Okay, once again, we're solving for m. We don't need that too. Divide both sides by 2. And now you have m equals ny plus nx over 2. And now your m is isolated, your m is alone. That's the final answer. If you have questions, ask me. Okay? Or ask Miss Beck or Miss Morales. Thank you.